Sorry everyone, I wasn't watching the timer. I have a 15-minute timer on the application that I use to record videos, so I ran out halfway through. So anyway, this is about where we were. We were figuring out the area of this triangle, so we could subtract it from the area of this entire pizza slice, which we figured was this, okay? So the area of the triangle was base times height divided by 2. The base is 8, the height is 8 divided by 2. 8 times 8 is 64. We take that divided by 2, so we get 32. So this triangle, the area of this triangle is 32. We need to subtract that from the pizza slice, and we should be left with this little bit there. So we have 16 pi is the whole thing minus 32, which is the triangle, and that's going to be our answer. Now, once we calculate the answer, I checked while I was uploading the previous video, if you put it into your calculator, because it asks for our answer to the nearest tenth, we will get something like 18.3 meters squared. That is the answer. That's the area of this little section right there. Okay, and then we are also going to do number 28. All right, so there's not only one way to do number 28. So I'm not going to say that this is the only way to do it. If you did it a different way and you came up with the right answer, then don't worry about this. This is what I think is the easiest way though, so I'm going to show you how I did it. So we have this diagram here of this circle. The radius is 6 centimeters, and we need to find the area of the shaded regions. This time we have 2 shaded regions, okay? So what I want to do is figure out the area of this section and this section separately in 2 separate steps and then add them together. So let's start with this section here, which is a lot like the last problem we did. So we need to figure out the area of the entire circle first. So area equals pi r squared, right? The radius is 6 centimeters, so the area of the entire circle is r squared. 6 times 6 is 36, 36 pi. That's the area of the entire circle. Now we know that this little section is 120 degrees. So in order to find the area of this section, we need to take 36 pi, I'm going to put it over 1, times 120 over 360. This is the percent of the circle that we're dealing with when we find the area of this little pie piece. Okay? So we take, I'm going to need my calculator for this one. Oops. We're going to take 36 times 120, which is 4,320 over 360. We're finding to the nearest tenth. So I'm not going to worry about just dividing that. I don't need to leave it in fraction form. But it turns out to just be 12. So 12 pi is the area of this pizza slice right there. I don't know why it's a pizza. I said I wanted pizza, so it's not a pie anymore, it's pizza. So 12 pi is the area of that section. Okay, let's keep that. 12 pi is super important. Let's find the area of this section right here, and then we'll subtract the triangle. So this section, we know that this line is 180 degrees, and this is 120. They're supplementary angles, so together they equal 180, which means that this has to be a 60-degree triangle here. So we can do the same thing, 36 pi, I'm going to put it over 1, times 60 over 360. This is the percent of the entire circle, that is this segment right here, because we know that this angle is 60 degrees. So 36 times 60 is 2160 over 360. Let's figure that out. Divided by 360 is 6. So this little section right here is 6 pi. Now without even doing that calculation, you might have been able to assume that, when you found out that this angle was 60 degrees and this is 120 degrees, exactly twice the number of degrees. So you could have maybe figured that out without doing that calculation, but if you weren't sure, you could do it. You would get that this area is 6 pi, this area is 12 pi. The areas added together are 18 pi. Okay, but we're not quite finished. 18 pi is the area of half of this circle. There's another way you could have figured that out that was faster, but I wanted to do it this way so you could see the process a couple of different times. Alright, so to figure out the area of this triangle, we need to take base times height. Now we know that the base is 6 centimeters because the radius is 6 centimeters. So this base and height divided by 2, okay. So base is 6 times height divided by 2. Alright, we need to find the height of this triangle. Do this in here. We need to know the height, so we need to know this. Now, what I conveniently just happened to draw in there was a 30, 60, 90 degree triangle, which looks like this. I'm just going to draw it down here so it doesn't get messy. I knew that this was 60 degrees because this angle out here, this one right here, was 120. So this had to be 60 for it to equal 180 together. This was 120 on this side. This one had to be 60, okay? I made it perpendicular, so this had to be 90, leaving this one at 30, okay? Now we know that the hypotenuse is 6 centimeters, and we need to know the length of the long leg. We have short leg and long leg. Okay, if you remember the formula, we have the hypotenuse equals 2 times the short leg, and the long leg equals the short leg times the square root of 3. So let's solve for this top one first. Height, which is 6 meters, equals 2 short leg. So divided by 2. The short leg is 3. Which means that the long leg equals 3 times the square root of 3. So that's the long leg here, that's the height of this triangle, is 3 times the square root of 3. Okay, so the base was 6 centimeters, the height is 3 times the square root of 3, divided by 2. So this is the calculation we need to do. I'll do on my calculator real quick. 6 times 3 times the square root of 3 divided by 2. Alright, with my calculator, I got about 15.59. When I did base, which was 6 centimeters, times height, which we calculated was 3 times the square root of 3, divided by 2 to figure out the area of this triangle. So we know that area of that triangle is not part of the shaded region, so we need to subtract it. 15.59. Okay, I'm going to pause it one more time, and I'm going to take 18 pi minus 15.59. Alright, in my calculator I got about 40.95, which rounds up to 41.0 centimeters squared. So that is your answer for 28. Like I said, that's not the only way to do it. In fact, there is one simpler way than that. So if you did it differently, that's all right. If you did it this way, great job. And if you didn't know how to do it at all, hopefully this helps a little bit. But let me know if you want to do it again with me slower. We can do it in a video chat. All right.